go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Yes, sir.
Episode 8. We are here.
Mm.
It's time to get on the clock. So we do what we always do. Let's start with a toast to the show.
Yes, sir.
Start with a toast. Greetings, everyone. Fans, friends, family, and all of the above. Welcome to B&B on the Clock. This is episode 8.
Yes,
I
sir.
am your host, the coach, and this is my other host, the soldier, JB the Kid 1. We
What's
are
up?
here. JB the Kid, man, how was your week? How was things going this week for you?
The kids are about to go back to school. Life is great, boy.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So it's been about forget work. It's been kind of going around at the last minute of making sure they got everything. It's kind of hard to get school supplies that are like, we overseas, everybody's doing this on the same list at the same store.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, luckily, we started getting our stuff like during COVID or whatever. We started getting racking up on random school supplies. So we had a lot of stuff already. So that was kind of clutch. But man, I'm just ready to get the kids to go back to school tomorrow. So I'll start the process of getting my braces. So by the 30th, the end of the month, I should have. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing any studio time, but my mouth is gonna be hurt.
Right. Isn't that when we off? I think that's when we go on our little mini vacation for a show.
Oh, word. So we off on Labor Day weekend.
I think so. I think that might be our last show, or that might be our off time. I gotta look at the schedule again because I know we had it scheduled out, but I know it's somewhere around there.
That Labor Day weekend about to be a movie, dog. I ain't.
Man. My week has been a roller coaster of a lot of different things, emotions, work, life. Happy the kids are going back to school. My youngest daughter goes back tomorrow. One of my oldest son goes back tomorrow. The college kid has moved into her apartment, so she's down in Baltimore. Only one that's not going back is the youngest son. He doesn't go back till after Labor Day, which is kind of cool. So he's still here. But for the most part, that's that. And then, life has been kicking my ass for a little bit, as I would have to say on here. I mean, I'm not going to go fully into details of it, but it's just, it's been a rough week. I mean, I'm happy to be doing the pod, happy to be on here, happy to still be able to do this. But if I didn't do it, I probably would have been more mad than anything that if we didn't get this episode off this week. But if I don't seem like myself, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm just going through a lot. I mean, it's just a lot that I'm going through. But I do want to rep shirt, Sneakerhead Boutique. That's what I'm repping this week is my folks.
Nice.
So make sure I
real rap though. I need that shirt, bro. I need that shirt.
Got you.
I got my hippie pack came in. Shout out to my big bro. He messed up.
Got you.
Everybody know me. I've been rocking hippie for about a good 4 or 5 years now. So he got some more gear that just came out. So my package finally came, man. I felt like I was on one of the deployments and my care package came in. I was hyped. But yeah, shout out to hippie gang and everybody. Well, then let's get this show on the road, big dog.
Yeah, let's get this show on the road, man. So we're gonna start this week. We're on the clock. We are officially on the clock. So we're gonna start this week with the AFC West. We're gonna continue our football talk. This is the last division before we talk playoffs and we talk Super Bowl. We're going to talk about the AFC West. So you got the Kansas City Chiefs, the Oakland Raiders, the LA Chargers. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Ooh, let me start that over. We got the Kansas City Chiefs, Las Vegas Raiders, the LA Chargers, and I'm forgetting somebody? I feel like I forgot somebody. Oh, the Denver Broncos. My cousin would kill me for that. Yo, he would murder me that I forgot his team. Yeah, so you got the Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs. You want me to go first this week? I can go first. I don't mind going first and saying,
go ahead.
saying who I got. I got the Chiefs winning this division. I'm
about to say, if you said anything else, man.
I'm not going against Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going
Shoot.
against my homeboy. Like
Man, what?
he's definitely who I got one in this division. One of the best quarterbacks in football, if not the best quarterback in football.
Right.
I got them winning. I think they're a lot to win that division. I have Oakland. No, I have the Chargers finishing second. I have the Chargers. I like their quarterback. I like Brock Huard a lot. I like the young kid a lot. I think he can sling it. They have some weapons on offense. Defensively, they're pretty good as well. I have Denver finishing third, and I have Oakland finishing last. I like Denver. I think they just got to figure out who their quarterback is going to be. I think defensively, they're going to be good. They have weapons on offense. They've drafted well the last couple of years. If they can figure out who their quarterback is going to be, if it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater, or if it's going to be can't even think of his name right now. That's crazy. This is I'm having one of them days, y'all. I'm sorry. But yeah, they can figure out who their quarterback is going to be. They're going to be a real problem. I think the Raiders. Listen, I don't know about the Raiders. Like I don't know about David Carr, or one of the Cars. Like I don't know. Like listen, man. I don't know about the Raiders. I just don't know, man. But the AFC West is all Kansas City in my eyes. So it's right. I don't even know why you even have a conversation about this division. Really, it's Kansas City, and then everybody else just pick a spot. Pick a spot and hope that you could possibly get to the wild card. I'll let you say your piece.
I'm about to say, so for me, like you said, like if you didn't pick the Chiefs, something's wrong with you. So I got the Chiefs. I like what they did as far as like basically buying the offensive line for Patty Holmes. So that was clutch. And then I feel like his name's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The running back is going to have a big year. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm an Andy Reid guy. So, never bet against Andy Reid. Then I have second coming up. I might have to go with, I will say it's kind of hard for me because I'm looking at the team or whatever, and I wanted to give the Broncos the number 2 spot.
Okay.
Or whatever, just because I like their defense. Von Miller's returning, and they got Patrick Surtain the second. He has 2, so he's nice. He's a nice corner, so I feel like they have something. But I do like your pick when it comes to the Chargers. I forgot Justin Herbert is the name. Justin Herbert. And then they got that wide receiver. Now I'm having a blank, but their wide receiver, that 1-2 punch is nasty or whatever. Yeah. And then Derwin James, their safety on defense, is coming back. So so I feel like, what I'm saying, the Chargers could make some noise. If that's the way I want to do it, then I'll put the Raiders in third and Broncos last.
Okay.
If I was going to do that, because I feel like the Raiders, even though, Derek Carr, I have no idea what that man be thinking about, but I do like John Gruden kind of knows what he's talking about, and Josh Jacobs, their running back, ain't no scrub. I still want to see what the heck they got going on defense. Henry Ruggs is the young wide receiver out of Alabama last year.
Yes, sir.
So, I feel like some stuff can happen. Like I said, but we'll see. But that division right there is like all I really care about is the Chiefs. Honestly, I love watching the Chiefs play. Personally, outside of the Eagles, that's like one of my favorite teams to watch right now. So
okay,
but yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't really have nothing else to say about the division. Right. We were supposed to do this show Friday, then we were supposed to do it Saturday or Sunday, and we're doing the show. But we could talk about your boy, Devontae Smith, and we also could talk about this crazy thing that happened pregame where.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about that.
Supposedly Jalen hurt his stomach and he ended up in the hospital. And listen, I don't know. I've been very skeptical of this front office since a lot of things have come out recently. I've been very skeptical of this coaching staff. Listen, I don't know. Like I don't know.
It kind of got me off of it was kind of weird because I was actually looking forward to, like, okay, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, boom, let's get it. I was hyped. I was really hyped. And then like all of a sudden, like I see an alert on my phone like Jalen Hurts not playing, Joe Flacco started. I'm like, okay, like
Right.
y'all
Right.
doing all this chirping during practice. It was crazy
Now,
plays coming out of practice the whole
now
week.
mind you, I don't watch. I watched the pregame. I was in the house. Like I made sure I got in the house on time. I watched pregame. I
You
watched the warm
seen
ups. He was warming up just fine. So for
dancing
me,
and everything, right? So
dancing and
like that was
everything, like
that was my issue. I was like, so I feel like it's something bigger to the story personally. But Devontae Smith though, I feel because him and what's his face, Joe Flack didn't really practice. Their timing was off. You could tell, like he did one pass. It was supposed to be a
back
back
shoulder, the back
shoulder.
shoulder,
Yeah, the back
yeah.
shoulder joint. You could tell that was his timing because. But I gotta say, that boy footwork is nasty.
It is. It is. It
That is
is.
something ignorant. And I don't know if you've seen the tweet by Ocho Cinco.
Yeah, yeah, I saw it. I
Hey, that
saw it.
was
I saw
funny.
it. I saw it. I saw it.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
Ocho.
usually I was like, that's why I said I was always nervous. Like I told everybody, I love Devontae Smith, being that I'm biased and I always go cheer for Alabama. But Devontae Smith had the best footwork out of Jalen Waddle, him,
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
Jerry
Yeah.
Judy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's I've been consistent with that. I just love to see it against NFL cornerbacks. Like these are like your daily competition, and that was my biggest thing. Like, granted, I've seen what's his name? Was it Marvin Harrison? Or I don't know, but he was the one that was like came in about the same height, same weight, or whatever. But he was saying that as long as his footwork is key, the separation, you need that separation.
Right.
And I was like, I feel like him and Jalen Hurts, it could be him, Jalen Hurts, and Dallas Goedert. It could be the two main targets on the team. Everybody else is will have to fall into play. So we'll see though. But I just gotta wait because I think week 3 is the dress rehearsal. So that's the game I always pay attention to.
Because the way preseason is this year, week 3 is the last preseason game, and then they got
that's
2 weeks
right.
off. So they got 2 weeks off. So I don't know if this is going to be a dress rehearsal game or not. A lot of people thought this was going to be the dress rehearsal game week 2, but seeing that this week is the last week of preseason, and then they got like 2. They don't play another game until Labor Day weekend. So it's a long time without football, without playing another team. I just don't know. Like, I think they need to start the starters at least a half in this game. But the way this organization and this coaching staff has been looking, I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be all backups. Yeah, but see, the way they're looking at it is that they got 2 days with the Jets this week where they do the inter squad scrimmages, and they're looking at that like that's the preseason games, because that's kind of what Nick Sirianni said in his post game interview. He was talking about how he used inter squad this week as really the preseason game, so he didn't really feel like he had to play the guys in the preseason game, which to me. No, because they're not really hitting the inner squad though. From my understanding, they're not hitting like they would hit in a game.
Right.
So I don't know how you gauge that, but listen, he feels comfortable with it. He's the coach. He knows a little bit more than we do. So I guess
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with that.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I think this is going to be a long season. I definitely don't think it's going to be.
I ain't gonna lie to you. It might be a long season, bro.
I had to tell myself all during the game. It's only preseason. It's only preseason.
I'm saying,
it's the backups.
Like that didn't look good. I woke up the next morning like,
nah,
bro, what?
It didn't. It was bad. I'm happy you didn't watch it because it was bad.
I probably would have broke something in the house.
It was break something worthy. Like it was bad. I was already having a rough week, and that didn't help. Like that didn't help at all. So we're gonna move right along on the clock. We're gonna talk about the big fella, Sixers big fella, Joel Embiid, getting this big contract extension, 4 years. What's your thoughts? How you feel? I know me personally, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm like, get your money. You know what I mean? I'm a total believer in get your money. I feel like he deserved it because he should have been the MVP. So it was only right. I wish he would have got it. It would have been a better storyline. Personally, I'm big on storyline. So if he would have got his little money after he won the MVP, it would all make perfect sense. I would say I didn't know until you told me that he did it without an agent.
Yeah,
So
no
I
agent,
thought
just him.
I thought that was pretty impressive. But it kind of goes to show too, Joel Embiid is a smart player
Yeah, he's very
because
smart.
he knows like he was sat out 1-2 years before he played.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't
Yeah.
get the, you know what I'm saying? Like his window for like best center in the league is not going to be very long. So capitalize on every given moment. And that's another thing. When you come from nothing, you're not as greedy, right?
Right.
Your play does the talking. So I felt like if anybody deserved an extension, it was definitely Joel Embiid. Very impressive that he did it without an agent. I hate to keep on harping on this every week, but I just need to see what y'all front office is going to do with this Ben Simmons situation because time is ticking, bro. Because I want to see. I don't want him on the team at the beginning of the season, personally.
Just get ready for it. It's he's coming. Man. He's staying. So get ready for what we've been seeing for the last 4 years. He's staying. They might try to wait till the trade deadline and make a move, but prior to that, he's not going anywhere. He's staying. He will be a Sixer unless something amazing happens and Dame forces a trade, because that's who they're waiting on. They're waiting on Dame. They're not waiting on nothing else.
Right.
They don't want nobody else. They want Dame. Dame is who they want. They're waiting on Dame to force Portland to trade him. If that doesn't happen, Ben Simmons is staying a Sixer unless a crazy, amazing deal comes along, which I doubt if that happens. So he's going to be here. And, all reports say he's last video I saw was this morning of him working out with Ja Morant. And he was putting up shots and he was getting jump shots up, but they weren't threes. They was deep twos. But at this point, I take whatever. Listen, I'm here for it. So let's hope that we can get something plausible out of this. And, I don't really have nothing else to say about it. I can't talk about that anymore. Like, I really can't.
Oh, good. Let's go on with talk about the quick shout out for the Summer League. It was actually faster than what I thought it would be, honestly. It was pretty quick, but I did like what I seen. Especially, like I told you before the draft, I felt like Davion Mitchell, wherever team he went on, people were kind of going to see. There was a lot of question marks on him.
Strap up.
Yeah, that boy is a dog. He's a dog.
Yeah,
I love it.
He's a dog.
I love it. I'm glad he got the shine on the Summer League. For those that act like Summer League doesn't matter, as a Laker fan, I remember we were definitely having it was a big thing for us when we won with Lonzo and Kuzma as the championship that year.
True. Somebody was just talking about that. I was just hearing that on the radio somewhere. Or no, it was on TikTok, and my son was listening to it. And he was like, yeah, they did great in Summer League. They didn't show out in the league.
I was saying, like, it's a big deal because we all looked at Kuzma, even though, like, Lonzo was the lottery pick or high up there. But we got to see. That's why I like about Summer League, because I like hearing the stories of people that question marks. Like, I remember when, who was it that shined out? It was I won't say long, but it was the real Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah, not Donovan Mitchell. That's his name?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For real?
For Utah? Yes, Donovan Mitchell.
I did know, but it don't sound right now. But nah, so yeah, Donovan Mitchell, when he showed out or whatever, I didn't think nothing of him until the Summer League. And I was like, oh, snap, these boys actually got some skills. So that's why I love watching it. The Kings, I just need to figure out what they're going to do with the boy Marvin Bagley.
Yeah.
Or whatever, because he got to go. Something has to happen because they got Halliburton up there. They got D Fox up there. So now it's just like,
yeah,
we got to do something. We got to do something if you want to move forward. But yeah, shout out to the Kings for winning the Summer League.
Won the Summer League.
Bigger news though in basketball. How about that freaking KD and Draymond interview though?
Yeah, I was just
crazy.
Just about to go there. That was definitely a must watch. That was a must watch. Like they really talked, and they put a lot of stuff out there that I wouldn't have expected to be put out there. Like
you could tell KD was not ready for them questions either.
No, he definitely told Draymond at the end, like, you got a real feel for this. Like, this is really what you might be wanting.
He got him good, bro. I was like, God,
they put they put Steve Kerr and Bob Myers out there. Like,
Hey, but
listen,
Stephen
like,
A. made an interesting point. I don't know if you heard it. He was like, "Where was
like,
Steph?"
where was Steph?
I was like, "Bro, where was Steph?" Hey, I was like, "Well, where?" So for me, I'm big on that. Just like everybody would say, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
LeBron's the team leader. Why didn't he?" You know what I mean? So
Right. Where
Steph,
was
like,
Steph?
this is your
Yeah.
team. This
Yeah.
is
Where
your
were
team.
you
Even though
at?
Draymond's the leader, but Steph, like, what are you doing? I think want to say Andre Iguodala was on the team and DeMarcus Cousins. They trying to
Yeah.
alleviate, if you watch on the sidelines, that big argument. But
Yeah.
I will say Draymond made an interesting point though, which is like you can't force a grown man to apologize to another grown man.
Definitely can't force a grown man to
Like that's
apologize.
what I
And he
was
told him,
like.
he was like, y'all about to F this up. Like, y'all about to F
Yeah,
this all the way up. Like, y'all about to F
yeah,
this
because
up.
y'all tripping. Then you talking about suspended me and all that. Like, and then of course the media go get the chirping and blah blah
And
blah.
listen,
But
and they took it all the way back to the Last Dance. Like KD said it best. He was like, when you watch the Last Dance, and Scotty didn't come on the court for that play where Kukoc hit the game winner. When they got in the locker room, like everybody gave Scotty the business, and he was like, that's what they needed. Like he was like, that's what he needed for the team to do. Everybody to go at Draymond and give Draymond the business. Like, yo, he was wrong. Like if that would have happened, I think that would have changed a lot of that scenario, man. That would have changed a lot of that.
yeah, and it's funny because like he went even in Katie's childhood with him like switching teams from like a kid or whatever, and like it had anything to do with it. Like he asked some serious questions. I learned some. Like I kind of put two and two together. Like when KD was like first in the league, he was kind of naive to everything.
Yeah.
And like that's why he always seemed so chill, because he was like the one quiet. Like LeBron was going to talk, and KD wasn't. Like that was the biggest difference between the main two superstars. Like
right,
KD wasn't going to talk, but now LeBron really doesn't do too much talking compared to KD. KD got burner accounts and all that,
he's talking.
So I was like, I feel like KD kind of explained like where he comes from, his mental. I still don't agree with it. I'm like, first of all, you're a peasant. Okay, I'm not about to argue back and forth with you over Twitter. I'm never going to beat you, none of that. So it doesn't matter. But yeah, I got to see like where he was coming from for a lot of stuff. So that was pretty cool. But that was a very good interview, though. I have a question for you though. Who would you like to see do an interview like that?
I would like to see Bron do an interview like that. I really would. I would like to see Bron do a sit-down interview and explain. I know he's touched on things, but he's never really fully went into detail about the whole move to Miami, the whole coming back, and the move to LA. Like he's never really fully detailed those things, especially the move to Miami. Like the first time he left, like when he first left Cleveland, like he never really fully went into like what really went into that decision.
Yeah, he did.
When? On what interview?
So he did one on the shop. He kind of told like the history, but
he told a story. But like no, like I needed like how how they asked that question. Like I need like that question. Like yo, like because I remember he was on Richard Jefferson's podcast.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Road tripping. He was on road tripping.
Yep. And he told that story. Yeah.
He told that story. Like he always tells the stories, but like I need people to be able to follow up with a question behind your story. Like they nobody never gets to follow him up with a question. Like he gets to tell his side of the story, but they never get to do a follow up to it. Like, all right, so what if this would have happened? Mm-hmm. Would it have been different? Would it Draymond got to ask KD like, so you made a decision, but let's say if this and this would happen, would you made a different decision? And he said, no. He said, I would have made that decision 1,000 times over. I would have came to Golden State. I would have played. Now, me leaving might have been different, or then again, it might not have been different. We don't know, but this is the decisions I made. I want to hear that from Bron. You know what I'm saying? Like I really will want to hear that from Bron.
So I'm about to say, for me personally, you said Bron. That's for me. If it was going to be like LeBron in there, it'll probably be more so him and Kyrie sitting down.
Ooh. That's a good one. That's one. Yeah.
So I'm about to say I want LeBron and Kyrie to have one of those talks. Because like the reason like yours, I feel like everybody kind of know the story. Like LeBron and D Wade wanted to play together. Chris Bosh
True.
just happened to be in the same draft class, and he was
True.
like one of those dudes. Like he didn't want to be in Toronto, so it was
He was
like
looking for a way out anyway. He was
right. And
going
then
somewhere anyway.
Carmelo was supposed to join them in Chicago because D Wade was going to leave. So
yeah,
so it was a lot of that. So that I was like, eh.
Well, have you watched D Wade's All the Smoke yet, or listened to it yet?
Yeah, I watched
he
that.
Talks. He talks about that too in there.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's wild. That would be a crazy ass team, bro.
And he talks about that he wasn't on the banana boat. Like he explains that he wasn't on the banana boat.
I think another one I'd probably love to see would probably be KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen.
Oh yeah. Definitely would love to see them too.
So that one, and probably throwing Rondo in that joint too, I guess. But that would probably be another one that I would have to see. Like that'd be must see TV for me.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to think of some other ones, but I think that's mainly it. I would say I would love to get a reunion of James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant and Serge Ibaka sitting at a round table just talking about what could have been and behind the scenes. I got some plans, I got some plans. I wish I could be working for ESPN. I'll put some stuff together.
But that's not ESPN. That's all.
That's all them. Yeah,
that's all Bleacher Report and Undisputed.
Yeah, I feel like I got a job at Bleacher Report then because I need to get some stuff going on, bro. I have some ideas. But yeah, man. I'm talking about the last thing about basketball though. The Christmas games. I think we kind of expected Lakers versus Nets. I don't think that was a surprise. It was either opening night or Christmas.
I got a question. How is it that the league MVP is not playing on Christmas Day? How is the league MVP not playing on Christmas Day?
I'll tell you why.
Somebody just asked that question.
I'm about to say because he's not box office must see TV.
He won MVP,
but he's not box office.
He should be playing on Christmas Day.
The reason why I say that because remember Dirk Nowitzki had after that the 2011 chip. He should have got the GOAT conversation for what he went through to get there. And yet we, what I'm saying, but he's not box office. It's not like we have to see Dirk. Like he's not must see TV. Jokic has got an old man's game in a point guard's body. I mean, like he has an old, what I'm saying, he's old school, like, but he's not right. Like, so he's like,
he plays like a point. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's why I said like now if it was like Jamal Murray would have won, I feel like because he's more electrifying and he's a guard.
But he'll be back.
I feel like
Jamal Murray's back.
Even Joel Embiid is like compared to big man. Joel Embiid is more eccentric. He's out there. He's on social media.
And the Sixers not playing Christmas Day either. The Sixers not on Christmas Day either.
That I can't explain, probably because they don't think that the team is going to be as constructed as it is right now. So that might be it too. But I think another one. I'm pulling up the Christmas games. But yeah, Lakers and Nets. Of course, I'm definitely taking the Lakers. But I'm trying to think. Who else was it? That's what it was. The Hawks versus Knicks. I can't wait for that bad boy right there.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. I think
that's the first one to start off, and then they got the Bucks and Celtics. I'm not really like ecstatic to see that, even though I think it should be. I thought it should have been.
I thought it should have been Bucks and Sixers, but that's just me. I thought it should have been Bucks and Sixers.
Okay, like you might be onto something right there. I would pay to see that.
I thought it should have been Bucks and Sixers Christmas Day, but it's fine. Opening night, I can't wait for it because I can't wait to see Bucks and Nets. I can't wait to see Bucks and Nets opening night. When the Bucks get their rings, and they get their rings that day.
They better not be all healthy. The Nets better not be all healthy because they about
to
kill the Bucks.
They gonna be all healthy.
To kill the Bucks from ignorant, yo. So yeah, I think we open up with the Warriors. I just can't. But Clay's not gonna be playing, so it's not gonna be the same. I want Clay. If I'm playing the Warriors, I want everybody there. I want everybody.
I can't wait till Clay comes back.
So
I can't wait.
I can't wait till he comes back either. I'm ready for it because the Sixers, man. I'm at Sixers. The Warriors. I feel like once again they got one of them deep benches and ain't nobody really talking about.
Oh my God! Listen, the Warriors is. If people think the Warriors is not going to be the Warriors again, man, they got something sadly coming their way because that team is going to be something different.
Right.
But yeah, we'll talk basketball on episode 10. We're gonna really dive into it and do a season preview and all that good stuff. We might even have a couple guests on because I got a couple people that want to have that conversation and talk basketball. So we're gonna definitely dive into that one.
Say less.
So we're gonna get into our main topic for today. Main topic this week, we are talking about Apple and Apple coming up with a thing for the new iPhones, for the new iOS systems that's coming out. Talking about invading people's privacy for the most part, and checking photos and checking for child porn inside your photos. Child porn is something very big, and it's a very big business that people don't even understand. It's a big business. There are a lot of pedophiles and a lot of people out here who search the internet for that stuff all the time. And what Apple's trying to do is Apple's trying to help with limiting child porn. And if you have something that the AI in your phone would read and search your phone, and if they found something, they would send it up to the authorities saying that you have some type of child porn. Where a lot of that problem lies in that is that, people take pictures of their babies naked, take pictures of their kids naked. So that would mess that whole system up for people who, it's your child and you have naked pictures of your child. Because I know my parents used to have a naked picture of me hanging up on the wall. So for everyone to see when they walked in the house. So I never did the naked picture thing of the kids, like taking them in the bathtub, taking pictures of them while they butt naked. Like I never did that. Like I never subscribed to that, but I know a lot of people who do. My thoughts is I think that's invading people's privacy, going through their photos. I don't think it's a good thing. I mean, I'm gonna let you touch on it. I know I sent you a couple of articles on it, so. So go on ahead, cuz get in where you fit in.
So I'm about to say where I get the intent, right? It makes sense. See where they're going with it, but I don't feel like it's just as blatant as it's going to be, because I have seen where certain things you can block, right? So I don't feel like it's going to be like, hey, we're just going to be watching all your pictures or whatever. I feel like it's going to be something like if you upload it to the cloud where we have uncontrollable access. But, I feel like it's going to be a little bit, but at the same time, for the fact that you're giving, like Apple's making something to basically go through your pictures and just to take it up for interpretation, right? I feel like it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be, you have to get a solid system, like even on Facebook or whatever, you could post something and they be like, is this, they ask you before it goes on Facebook. So I don't know, man. This is one of those things where it's kind of scary, but it's also kind of, in a creepy kind of way, it's actually kind of cool that technology's advanced this far to where we can actually battle this thing via technology and like technological warfare. Because like you said, it's a booming business. I've been watching Law and Order SVU for, I don't know what season they on now, like 20 something. So that's basically my whole life. I've been watching SVU. Man, Look, so I'm just like, I tell people all the time, like that aspect one, it's like I have a very no tolerance for it. Like I don't even play that. I've been to, especially in the Army, we get briefed on stuff like that all the time. So it's just, the Apple, I feel like the head is in the right place, but they just need to go back to the drawing board and just come up with like certain stipulations. Are we going to allow basically us, like we'll be off in everybody's business, like Big Brother in the skies will be watching everything, which I don't feel like is cool. So I don't know. I feel like Apple will come out with it. I have faith in Apple. I'm a big Apple supporter, so I feel like they're going to come up with something that's actual. It's not going to be too evasive, but it's still going to try to get the job done, just like the Corona thing. And so if mine it's not turned on, right? But if I went to go turn it on, you know what I'm saying? It tracks like where I'm at, who I was with, and all that good stuff, right? With people that also have it on. So that's the thing. So I feel like it's going to be something of the sort. Because when that Corona thing came out on my phone, I was like, oh, nah, you ain't going to be tracking me everywhere I go like this. Like, I'll turn off everything before I let you
Right.
just take control like that. So, but yeah, man, I feel like Apple's gonna come out with something a little bit better. But from the headlines, because after you told me, I just went and Googled, right, Apple child porn. That's exactly what I did. And sure enough, like you just put that in your Google search, it sounds terrible. Like it sounds like,
Right.
and we
Sounds
watching
terrible.
everything. As soon as we see one butt cheek in your phone, I'm like, dang, what about like, you know what I'm saying? Like kids, I mean, adults that built like kids.
Right. Mm-hmm. All that. All that.
I was
All that.
like, bro, like that's gonna be too crazy. I'm like, yeah, but no, I feel like Apple's gonna come out with something a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, man, that's all I got on that. I got Apple products, so I'm just like kind
Right.
of waiting for
So
it.
wait to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see what happens at this point.
Everything I have is Apple. So yes, I'm waiting to see what happens as well. Yeah, man, I feel like that was, I feel it's some type of invasion of privacy, but it might need to be something that needs to happen. I don't really have too much more to talk about on that topic, to be honest. Like I feel like you touched all the bases right there. I mean, we do got some fan questions. We definitely got some fan questions this week. I mean, we got
I
fan
got a
questions
couple of them.
again.
I got a couple for me as well. So
You want to go first with your fan
yeah,
questions?
I never really did fan questions. I'm glad I got some
Sure.
now.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man.
So the first question, it came from all these were like anonymous. I did a Snapchat joint or whatever.
Okay.
It was like a little anonymous joint. So like I told you, I was gonna hit up all different approaches just to get some type of question. So
Gotcha.
One question, it was how do I feel? So how? My phone.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does it feel to be in the Army for a whole decade? That you made it a whole decade?
Mm.
First of all, I didn't think I'd make it this far. Okay.
I didn't make it a decade.
Real quick. I didn't think I'd make it this far.
I made it 8 years. I didn't make it a decade. 8 years was all I had. That's all they got for me.
Man. But I will say that once again, I'll harp on this. Army didn't make me rich. Okay. The benefits though to me is amazing. I don't really feel like you probably can't get a job that has about the same benefits, but I feel like for a place to where like legit it pays for a place for you to live, right? Mm-hmm. Like I feel like in my whole adult life, Reggie, check this. This is crazy. We were just talking about this the other day. My whole adult life, I never had to pay rent.
That's love.
You feel me? So like I always look at that. I'm like mm-hmm. I never had to pay rent. I know it might be whatever, but that's really big. That's really, huge. Really big. Right. So I've been living on my own for 10 years. And for 10 years, I never had to pay rent. I had to pay utilities for about a year until the Army was like, because they went through this whole house upgrade where people were living like pretty bad. So they were like, we're paying for everybody's utilities, right?
Gotcha.
So I never had to pay utilities since I've been living in the house. So I feel like those are big things for me. I always had to so a lot of people are worrying about like paying rent on the first and all that good stuff. So going back to healthcare, I think that's a big one everybody talks about, especially in this day and age with COVID and all that. As much as people are against getting the vaccine and all that, like now military is like not an option for all military. So dentist appointments, I'm getting braces coming up at the end of the month. You know what I'm saying? So like it's a little stuff, taking care of my wife and my kids. It's like the little stuff for me. Like if my family's good, a lot of people in the military know, like if your family's good, that you operate at full capacity. If you got to worry about your family, then it's always an issue. So there's always something going on at home. You're not there, so you can't do your job. So I will say on that part, I met some great people I probably would have met if I was living with my mom's. So I met some great people, great relationships. Probably stand the test of time, honestly. And so a lot of these people have become family. Shout out to Deuce's godparents, because both of those people have been, I don't like to say best friends because that makes me sound weird saying besties, but they are have been my best friends since I've been in the military.
Got you.
But yeah, man, like it's stuff like that just like you can't really put a price tag on. I've learned a lot. I matured. I used to be ratchet. Now I'm just ratchet and smart. This now that's a. I was ratchet and dumb. Now I'm ratchet and smart. Put it like that. So, but yeah, man. So as far as the 10 years, I got 10 more years left. So if y'all see me at 15, about to clock out, slap me. I need to get these 20 so I can sit down for the rest of my life and not do nothing. That's the goal. I wanted to be able to sit down and just chill. And by the time I get out, Deuce will be like in 7th grade. And both my older kids will be in college, God willing. So, yeah.
Okay.
And another question I had was, how did I feel when I got demoted?
Oh.
Shoot. So, trying to make this story real sweet. So I basically got in trouble, short and sweet. So I got in trouble for cussing out my first aunt. She had said something slick to me about, I was honestly defending one of my soldiers, Deuce's godmom, and I was defending her. She had something going on at home. And like I just said, like, you're not good at home. You're not going to be good working.
Oh,
and
man. Ain't that the truth?
So I was, as a supervisor, I was just like, hey, just stay away from the Army. I'll cover for you. Do what you got to do. It was working until something blew up. We had a meeting with the first sergeant and a whole bunch of other NCOs, and she tried to call this soldier out. She was all types of names, and I wasn't having it. So I was defending her, and then she said something slick to me. I said something slick to her. Before I know, we going back and forth, arguing, calling each other names or whatever. And I was the one that got in trouble because of my rank. So not fair, but I mean, granted, karma did pay out because she got forcibly retired from the military. So it all played out. But at the same time, like, I literally just got married when I got demoted. I don't even think Twilight, we had just moved on the post or whatever. So we had just moved on the post. It was crazy because I was just like, man, look, I had a downward spiral moment. I just knew, it was like, man, Twilight just married me for my benefits anyway. So I was like, I'm about to get kicked out of the Army. You know what I'm saying? I never got in trouble. Like, it was a downward spiral. I was like, you know what? I'm about to just smoke weed, pop out, and get out real quick. And I'll probably live somewhere in California or something like that until I get to go back to the East Coast. Like, I had a whole plan. But then I was like, I'm competitive, right? And so, and out of Kobe Bryant, I was like, I'm not about to let this, because I was bust down to an E4. So I'll be working with the soldiers that I used to led. I was leading at the time. So I'll be like literally working with them. So I was like, I got to show them that I can get an Article 15 and still get demoted. So that was my motivation. And I wanted the person that demoted me to be in the crowd. Like, that was my biggest thing. I wanted that person to be there. So I kind of kept a low profile for like 6 months or whatever, went back to the board, got it on my second time. First time I went in there too confident. I ain't gonna flex. I kind of act like I knew it all, and they didn't like that. I knew all the answers, but I just had too much confidence. So they wanted me to be humble. So I went back the second time, still aced it or whatever. And yeah, man. And by the time I got out there, I got my P status to go to E6. And that was like the biggest thing. And my biggest speech and all that was be resilient. As corny as it might sound, but God doesn't put more on your shoulders than you can bear. And I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. I needed it because I just came back from deployment. And even though I didn't really do anything like Call of Duty, like on my deployment, you could have swore I was a war hero, right? I came over with that big head and I couldn't be touched. I was doing 300 PT and like my soldiers were going to the board. I was like the NCO. You couldn't tell me nothing. I knew I was smelling myself and all that. So I felt like it kind of humbled me a little bit. Granted, I definitely drank a whole lot more. But it kind of gave me time just to kind of chill. Like I said, I just got married, so it kind of got me to chill a little bit or whatever, and kind of put everything back in perspective and get my head back on straight. But like I said, it was all about resiliency. And but yeah, man, that's my story. But
glad you could share your story.
Yeah. I do have one more question, and I'm done.
Sure, you good. All right.
The last one was like, why am I a Lakers fan? So I feel like one of my siblings said that because I don't know. That was really weird. It was like all Army questions in that one. It was like surprisingly, I had a lot of questions, but that was one. So
why are you a Lakers fan? Sure, let's elaborate on that. And I'm gonna shut up here and I'm gonna let you go.
Okay, cool. So everybody knows I grew up in Pennsylvania. So around 97, 98 or whatever, my favorite show growing up was Moesha. I was in love with Brandy, right? Loving Brandy. And so I so happened to turn on, we
Oh,
only had like four or
hold
five
on, hold on,
channels.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Are you going to tell me that you are a Lakers fan because Kobe Bryant took out Brandy? Like,
Can you, are you
you
gonna let me tell
not?
my story?
Yeah.
Are
Go
you gonna let me
ahead.
tell my
Go
story?
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So there was watching I guess it was ET or one of those little news whatever shows or whatever, and Kobe had just took Brandy to the prom, and I was like, bro, that was my girlfriend. This dude just took her to the prom. What the heck am I doing wrong, right? And mind you, I'm like 5 or 6 years old, so I'm like, what the heck? So boom, I was like, I gotta figure out who this dude was. So the Shaq joint just went down, right? I had mind you, I'm a big Penny at the time. I was a big Penny Hardaway fan. So I had my pennies on. And so when Shaq left and he canceled the Lakers, and then next thing you know, I'm talking about the dude out of Lower Merion. And because of Pennsylvania, it was a big story. Like this kid from Lower Merion High School, it was big, right? For all those that grew up in Pennsylvania, Kobe going to the draft in 96 was huge. Like it was really big story.
It was.
So
It was. I could talk to that. It was.
it was a big story. So I'm like, oh, that's the dude that took Brandy or whatever. So I said, what team he go to? At first, I thought he was going to the Hornets. That's the last thing I heard, right? He got drafted by the Hornets. Come to find out, I seen him on the bench. I'm watching Shaq on the TV, right? And I was like, oh, snap, he played with Shaq. Like, mind you, I'm a Shaq fan. So that was a big thing. Everybody knows like, I was a big Shaq fan. Big Shaq fan. Like I said, Penny Hardaway.
This makes more sense now.
Yeah, so like my basketball, how I fell in love with basketball was Shaq. I was in love with Shaq. I didn't really, because as a young kid, the first Jordan game I seen, or the Bulls game, I should say, Bulls game is when the Magic beat the Bulls.
Gotcha.
So that was the first basketball game I ever watched. And Jordan wasn't even on the team.
Gotcha.
Right? So that's why everybody's like, you never seen Jordan? I was like, no, I really didn't until 98 when that like the last dance. That's when I was like, okay, but Shaq was still my favorite player. Like,
got you. I'm tracking. Got you.
So now I'm watching the Laker game, whatever. Kobe wins the slam dunk contest, and he's doing stuff I had never seen before. I'm on my little court in the backyard with the little crate on top, trying to do everything Kobe did. And then now at that point, I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm in third, fourth grade or whatever. I'm watching the Lakers dominate, whatever. The issue I had was everybody around me was an Iverson fan. Everybody, like I'm in middle school, I'll never forget it. We got to wear a Spirit Week, and everybody was wearing like different Sixers gear. You remember the mascot, the little bunny rabbit, whatever? He had came to our middle school, and I'm like maybe one of like 2 or 3 kids that had Laker jerseys on, right? My mom stayed up all night, and she made me a Lakers jersey. And it had Brian on the back. Yeah, my mom had skills back in the day. And my mom had skills. Shout out to Mom Dukes for that. Because I used to sleep with that bad boy. So I went there. And my little crazy part is I'm glad I know about Brandon now because I had some freaking the Reeboks, the Answers on. I had the Answers on with some high water shorts and my Laker jersey, bro. Looking stupid. Hey, but I messed around and I was like, everybody wanted to pick me out the crowd because I was the only one of the kids that was wearing Laker jersey, and we were playing the Sixers in the finals that year. So it was crazy. So like, but I did like for me, it was honestly, if I had to say why I'm a Lakers fan, it was honestly the big move for Shaq going to the Lakers. The reason why I'm a Kobe fan is because I just turned on the TV and found out he was the dude that took Moesha to the prom, and Moesha was my girlfriend, and so I just happened to watch it, and I see him doing stuff on the slam dunk contest, and I was like, oh, okay, well. He deserved it. He got it. I can't do that. So, but yeah, man. Ever since then, I want to make it very, very clear. Kobe was my favorite, but is my favorite basketball player. Well, was he passed away. But I've always been a Lakers fan. Win or lose, draw. I've always been a Lakers fan. Them stupid 7 years, it seemed like eternity that we were losing. I wasn't used to that. I was going through emotions or whatever. Shout out to all the Sixers fans because y'all knew what the heck I was going through, and I was upset. Okay, I was very upset. I never seen us draft in the top 3 before. Like it was new. That whole experience was new for me. So I was like, I want to let everybody know I was a Lakers fan. I've been a Lakers fan. I'm still gonna be a Lakers fan and not changing. My wife is a Lakers fan because I tell you what, I couldn't get married to anybody else, okay? Because I wasn't having it. We had to be equally yoked, okay, when it comes to sports.
Right.
So, but nah, on serious tip, that's the reason why I'm Lakers fan. And I just can't wait. I'm just glad we back on the right ship, boy. Because boy, it wasn't looking too good from 2011, 12, all the way to 2020.
I'm gonna drink my drink on that. That was a great story, though.
Yeah.
That was an awesome story. I can't front. That was a very good story. You know, you told your story. Lakers fan. Whew. Yeah. Kobe and, you know, listen, I can't even, like, you grew up in Harrisburg. So for me, like, just to hear this story now, like, you know, you grew up around Sixers fans and AI fans, and yeah.
But it makes I actually like the fact that people didn't like me because I was a Lakers fan. I really did like that as a kid. Like, it ain't nothing like, I don't care what nobody says. It's nothing like going to a place where you're the only fan over. You know what it's like for me being an Eagles fan on the West Coast? Next to all the Raiders fans? Like, I love that.
No. I get that. Oh no, I get that. Believe me, I get that. You know, I spent my time in the military. I get that. Oh, I get that.
Yeah, exactly. Literally.
Yeah, I get that. Man. One of the fan questions is from my man Quam, and he asks, why don't these old heads check these young dummies that's out here doing all this killing? So in Philly right now, we are probably the number one in killings, in homicides. We are probably, I know we're in the top 5 or top 3.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, I want to say it's still Chicago.
Yeah, I think I don't know if we're above Chicago or right below Chicago. Like, we're in that top 3 area of number of homicides this year. Right. We have more homicides than there are days in a year right now. So it's crazy here. And his question is why is, like, Philly was never like this. Philly was more like the older generation would talk to the young guys, like, and tell them about rules and tell them about how you move and things like that. And now you don't get that. Mm-hmm. You know, like, it used to be rules of Philly that, like, you didn't touch women, kids, and you didn't do killings in daylight. Well, all that shit is off the board. Right. They killing women out here. They killing kids. They killing in broad daylight. Like, they doing all that shit. So, right. I mean, I get his question. Why did? But to answer his question, in my eyes, is a lot of these young kids don't listen. They don't care. Listen, they don't care about none of that stuff. They gonna do what they want to do, how they want to do it. This generation is totally different. I know my generation, we listened to the older guys that was ahead of us. Like, we listened to the guys who came before us, who had experienced some stuff. Like, we had conversations with those guys. I literally sit in the gym every Saturday and watch basketball from whatever time I get off work to about 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, watching ages from 5 years old all the way up to 16 years old. And I listen to the 16s and the 15s and the 14s, and I listen to them talk, and I hear how they talk because my kids is in that conversation because they in that age bracket. And I listen to all that, and I hear how these kids talk. And a lot of these kids don't have positive male role models in their life. So I try to be that. So a lot of them call me dad, or they call me coach, or whatever they call me. And I try to be that positive role model and tell them what they're doing wrong and how they're being wrong. Just like I had to suspend a kid from playing basketball because every time I look up, he's in the middle of something. Like, he's always in the middle of a fight. He's in the middle of an argument. So, you know, I got to sit you down. Like, I got to teach you a lesson. And the lesson of that is that you're not always going to get your way. So sometimes you got to be able to eat when you're not getting your way. You got to be able to eat the fact that you messed up. So now you got to accept the responsibility of messing up. And, you know, me and him had a real heart-to-heart, like, after he got suspended, because he's sitting there with the angry face, all upset, all mad. He's ready to cuss the other people in the league, the other adults in the league out. And I'm like, yo, but you was wrong. Like, you don't get that you was wrong. Like, you don't get that your actions is what caused this situation. Right. Your actions is what caused you to be sitting down. Like, you got into a fight in the gym when you didn't even have to get into a fight. You could have walked away from it. Oh, I ain't gonna let nobody punk me. How is somebody punking you if you smart enough to know that you got bigger things going on that you want to do, that you walk away from it? Yeah. Yeah. So, we had that heart to heart, and, like, we went back and forth, and he, like, he finally got what I was saying. But you also got to have patience with these kids. And a lot of people don't have that type of patience. Like, even the people that run the league with me, we were sitting there having a conversation. They was like, I'm tired of talking to them. Like, I'm just done. Like, I'm not talking no more. Like, I'm over it. And I'm like,
Right.
but we can't do that. Like, we can't give up on that situation. We can't give up on that kid. Like, we give up on that kid, he might be the next statistic of either him killing someone or him getting killed. Like, we've already lost multiple kids from this program that we coach in, that we run. We've lost 3 kids in the last year. Not even the last year, the last 6 months. I buried 3 kids in the last 6 months. Kids that I watched grow up, kids that came through our program, who's been in our program for the last 4 years. Like, I watched these kids grow up. Like, I watched them go from young kids to young adults. And they're not even going to see past 16. Like, so for me, it's, it's more to it than just giving back and giving my time. It's trying to see these kids become adults. Like, I got 2 kids of my own who are at that age where these streets don't care if they my kid or not. Like, just because I'm respected don't mean nothing. Like, don't mean nothing to nobody. Like, if they do something, they got to own the responsibility. And that's where I had this conversation with them all the time. Like, you got to watch who you hang around. You got to watch how you move. You got to watch who you're moving with. You never know what your friends is doing when you're not there.
The facts.
You might be the calm, simple one who can pull them out of a situation when you're there. But what happens when you're not there?
Right.
What happens when they're around other kids and they get into something because they thinking and just reacting instead of looking at the whole situation and see what can happen? How you think, how you were raised.
Yeah.
So, like, I tell people all the time, man, like, it's hard. It's hard to be a parent in these times. It's hard to be a kid in these times. It's hard on both. It's hard on both of us, parents and kids. Like, it's hard on both. It's even harder to be someone who deals with the youth on a regular basis, talks to kids, conversates with kids, and just try to be there for them in a way that others aren't trying to be there for them. Right. So it's really hard. Like, I don't really know how much more I can express about that, except for, you just can't give up on these kids. That's all I can say. You can't give up on them. You got to keep talking to them. You got to keep trying. You got to keep trying to push forward. It might help some. It might not help some. But you shouldn't feel like you're wasting your breath because you're holding a conversation with a kid that might change their life. You never know.
Yeah.
And I've had kids come to me and tell me, Coach Red, you changed my life. Like, I didn't look at things a certain way until I met you. I got kids in college right now who probably would have never went to college, or I got one kid who joined the military but is in college, and he's telling me all the time, listen, if I ain't ever hear your story, I probably wouldn't have went this route. Listen, I don't brag, I don't boaster, but listen, everybody got a story to tell. Mm-hmm. And if you're willing to listen, I'll tell it to you. I've made a lot of mistakes in life. I just posted the other day where I said I made a mistake. I've screwed up things as a father, a husband, a friend, a brother, a cousin. I've screwed a lot of things up in my life.
Right. Yep.
I want everybody to understand. I might be getting emotional right now. Listen, I screwed up a lot of things in my life. I'm not proud of some of the things I screwed up. Not even happy about some of the things I screwed up, but I've done it and I've learned from them. And if I can share my story and share my testimony to people, I'm always going to do it.
Yeah, that's the key.
I'm always going to do it. And yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I said at the beginning of the show, life is kicking me in the ass right now. But something Jamara said earlier, God doesn't put anything on your shoulders that you can't handle. I'm going to be able to handle it at some point. Might not be able to handle it today. Might not be able to handle it yesterday. But at some point, I'm going to be able to handle it. Exactly. I just got to get to that point. Get to that point.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that's it, man. That's it. You hit it right on the head. I just wanted to say, too, man, I think we have talked about it on previous episodes, and I asked that question, too, a lot. And it's like, I love, like, for instance, my brother that started the hippie thing. It was how, like, legit, we moved to Charlotte, and it was all these little kids, like, well, it had to be like 15, 16, 17, that little age group, gang this and gang that, right?
Right.
And you're like, what? So he made legit he was like, you know what? You don't got to get jumped in to be in this gang. And he called it a hippie gang, right?
Right.
And it was like live free, learn from your mistakes, that kind of thing, that vibe,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Then it grew from that to now little kid, like we still have kids now. Or I'll say we, but he has kids to this day that legit, like myself, I'm 30, right? And I'm still buying this gear because I was in the game, right? And it's like pass it down. Like for me, I always tell my story all the time. That whole little demotion story, especially the soldiers that are getting out. I'm like, look, okay, Army's not all best job in the world, but like I just told you, I haven't had paid rent in so long. This little stuff that like that, you know what I'm saying? People, I take the bigger picture. I always try to pass down or whatever, and that's why I say, for me, I say it starts at home, right? We have lost. I feel like, especially in the African American community, that whole it takes a village. We have lost that.
Right. Yeah.
It's literally every man for himself, every family for himself. Some families are not even taking care of what needs to be happening at home. I know when I was growing up, everybody on the block looked out for me, like everybody, from the people that were junkies or whatever, or like, nah, that's Helen's kid or whatever. Just like, hey, let them live, whatever. But everybody looked out. I had fake moms and other aunts and all that, you know what I'm saying, looking out for me everywhere I went. So I feel like it also just starts in the home. Like you could teach your kids, right? But you need to set them up to make the right decisions. With like making the right decision doesn't take the Pythagorean theorem, whatever it's called, to figure out like, hey, it doesn't look too good in here. I should leave. Like it shouldn't be like I'm gonna kick it with my boys because no. If it looks like a duck, it walks like a duck. That's flat. Like, that's the way I try to teach kids, because sometimes it's kids being in the wrong place, wrong time. And that's like, hey, you know what? Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. It's going to be violent. But I said, as far as like going back to the original question, like you said, I feel like they don't listen. And back in the day, we didn't have social media. We had to take what the people said around us. We didn't have, we had music, but it was like, oh, they're a rapper. Naturally, when you think of rappers, that's what you think about. Them rapping about girls, money, whatever, cars, whatever. Right?
But that's we didn't have social media.
It's a fantasy land. That's just, you know what I'm saying? It's a fantasy, right? So we didn't take that. We were forced to listen to. But now you have social media where I could tell you something, whatever. I don't believe you. I'm gonna go check real quick on here. It's not like you taking my word on it anymore. Oh man, he's just talking now because all the old heads got a story to tell. And I feel like as the younger generation, we have lost respect for the people that have come before us and literally have walked the same path that we have. So everybody knows me. I would listen to any old head. As corny as it sounds, whatever, I would sit there and let you talk my ear off, because there's something in that. Something I'm gonna catch out there. Or it's the way you act. If you just goofy off rip, I'm like, man, I just know I'm not gonna make the same decision because I don't know what he on right now, but he tripping. But I would sit there and listen to you, because a lot of them, they just trying to pass down knowledge or whatever. So like you said, I feel like if we get back to making the kids listen and teaching your kids to listen to their elders, honestly, I feel that's what it starts with. Yeah. We're the only country that throws our elders away, for real.
True. I have another one. It's from my man Johnny Chopper, who's like a kid to me, man. We used to work together. He always calls me Pops. That's my guy, my young guy. His question was, how do we feel about the Taliban in Afghanistan after troops have left? Now he's a former soldier, so this is why this question hits different.
So breaking news. Oh, go ahead. I'll let you talk. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead first. You're about to get some breaking news. Go ahead.
The Afghans are literally about down the street from my house right now. Okay.
Oh shit! Damn.
Yeah, we got about a little less than 1,000 refugees here on Ramstein Air Base.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're staying in the hangars. So personally, I feel like my neighbors or whatever, like they had to work overtime. Like they're pulling 12-hour shifts. Legit, it was literally like we were chilling. Matter of fact, Friday night, we were all chilling or whatever. And then she got a text like, hey, 6 a.m. Be there.
Oh, when you text me Friday night on the goofiness?
Oh, yeah, that night. That night. But yeah, she got a text message like, hey, we're starting 12-hour shift. And then like that, but that's the reason. A lot of the Air Force people, I should say, not necessarily the Army, but the Air Force people here on Ramstein Air Base are working like relentlessly, basically trying to make sure the refugees are straight. Shout out to all the people here on Ramstein because I'm seeing it firsthand. Like I'm really seeing it. Like our neighbors and their spouses are like donating clothes, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
But as far as like how the situation played out, I just feel like it was inevitable. Like you literally, you leave a country, they're gonna go crazy. But I know, that I felt like it was bound to happen. The only reason why I was there when we left Iraq, I was there for the cleanup crew, but we still had people there. Like we still had people working in the buyout or the airport or whatever out there. So I say it was a kind of a bundle of things that are bound to happen. I feel like gotta be careful what I say. I feel like the powers above us didn't really think this one through. They just did it. They just want everybody out. So, which I understand. Like on a bigger aspect, yeah, we'll get all the troops out of there. Yeah, we might want to grab our stuff, guy. We might want to grab our stuff. Let's do that.
Yeah,
because like that's all. It's funny how everything played out so quick. Because you would feel like that's what all they were waiting for, right? As soon as they leave, that's all they're waiting for.
That's all they're waiting for.
So yeah, that's my fault. But yeah, the refugee thing is real big. I know people. I want to say it's Fort Eustis. I could swear it's Fort Eustis. I could be wrong. But I want to say it's Fort Eustis. They got refugees over there too.
For real? I didn't know that. I need to call my folks. I got some folks that work at Fort Eustis. I didn't know that. I might ask them.
Either Fort Eustis or Fort Lee. They're only about like 45 minutes apart, but I know they're in Virginia. So okay, yeah, Ramstein.
It's probably Eustis.
I'm about to say we definitely got some up here, and like I said, it's not small, but the air you can hear air like C-130, C-17 going over your head. So like the hangar is about maybe five minutes away from our house or whatever, and they got the security. It's I don't like using the word. It's a refugee camp. It's a refugee camp. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Come in. They got people working around the clock. They give them meals, medical, all that. So it's about to get real crazy out here on Ramstein. But yeah, it's real. For all the people that think like the news is just talking, no,
it's real.
It's real.
It's real. And you know, like I said, like I didn't think pulling the troops out was the smartest idea.
No.
I mean, I haven't been to Afghanistan, but I've been to Iraq, and I remember what that was like. I'll never forget what that was like. But I remember hearing the stories about like the last troops coming out of there and stuff like that. And I remember hearing those stories from guys who I know that went over there on that cleanup too. Yeah. And they were saying like it was crazy. So I could only imagine how this situation is, especially with Afghanistan and how big the Taliban force was in Afghanistan and how big they're getting now.
That's the crazy part. Yeah. I'm about to say they're bigger than it was in Iraq, in my opinion.
Right.
So I was like, that's why I said I didn't understand it. I was just like, if they were tripping and we were just on cleanup duty.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't like it. It wasn't anything major, but we had like a car bomb go off. And like, that was like the first time, like my welcome to the army moment on a deployment. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like all soldiers, if you haven't had one on deployment, I feel like you're going to have one. But like on deployment, it's like, you have that you're deployed moment. And so that was mine. Like, we were just like playing pickup basketball outside and literally right outside the gate. So it's not, we have, anybody's been to Iraq or some of the bases, they have the layers of security.
Yes.
So even though it's layered, you can still see what happens on the outside. So a car bomb is a car bomb. It was a chain reaction. There was like 3 of them that went off, and all you see is like the cars, parts, and stuff flying up. And
I got a better story for you for my welcome to deployment story. So first day there, we just landed. We just get to our base in Iraq. So we had been in Kuwait for a week. We stayed in Kuwait for a week. Nothing happened in Kuwait. Kuwait is Kuwait. So it's just hot. I feel like a hairdryer blowing in your face the whole time. Man. First day we get to Iraq. We get there. We're moving in. We're talking to the soldiers who we're replacing. We're sitting there talking to them. And a mortar hits our base. I damn near shit myself, because mind you, I've never heard no shit like that.
But
never even had that experience, right? The bull I'm sitting there talking to, because he's explaining to me my job and what I'm gonna do while I'm there and all this. And so, we having a conversation because I was in charge of our trucks. I was in charge of our Humvees as far as how we move on deployments and stuff like that.
Right.
So how we move on missions and stuff like that. Like that was my job. Like I was the truck leader. So, like my job was to make sure that we got deployed in certain spots. Everybody was in their spots. Everybody knew where they needed to go, all this stuff. So we sitting there talking. He's explaining to me, he's like, yo, listen, first time you go out, you can get shot at. He was like, I'm telling you now, first time you go out, it's going to happen. Fucking mortar goes off, bro. We sitting there. I'm like looking for somewhere to duck and cover. He was like, yo, get up. I'm like, get up. He's like, oh, this shit happen every day around this time. You cool. They don't have no aim. Like they just shooting. Like they don't even know where we're exactly at here. Like he's like, that shit landed maybe a half a click away. What? Bro, what are you talking about? Like they shooting mortars at us. He's like, oh yeah, that shit happen every day. It's like, man, it happened like clockwork. He's like, you'll get used to it. After the first week, bro, I swear to God, after the first week, I was so used to it that I was walking to fucking Chow Hall with no IBA, no Kevlar, no nothing. I'm walking with a hat and my rifle and my PT gear, and the fucking mortars is going off, and I'm like, oh, it's 12:45. Okay. All right. So, yo, what's for lunch today, dog? like that was my mindset after a week. So, yeah, like, I've been on deployments. I tell y'all, like, the first time my IED went off in front of me, yeah, that was a different kind. Like, that was life-changing. Went off clean in front, like between two trucks, just went off in front of us. We had to drive through, like, because you can't stop. Like, you got to keep driving. So it went off, and I had to drive through the cloud of smoke. And yeah, bro, like listen, I don't tell these stories too often because I've seen some stuff. I've been in some things. Yeah, my truck got blown up. I post that picture every year on Veterans Day and on the day that it happened as a reminder that I'm still here, that someone up there thought it wasn't time for me to go. Because April 2nd, 2007, 2006, shouldn't have lived. Man. Shouldn't have been living. Should have died that day. And I tell people that all the time. So when I go through things, and it's harder for me to come out of the other side of them sometimes. But I understand that I have a bigger purpose here in life. I have a bigger purpose on why I'm here. So God allowed me to live through that so I can live through anything. So for me, but back to what we're talking about, this Taliban thing, listen, like that, I don't really think they should have been pulled out, man. And my brothers that was over there, friends who I had over there, I'm happy y'all home. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy y'all home.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I said the same thing. I said, don't get twisted. I'm glad you're home. I'm biased. I want you home. I know that you're safe, but it's like, yeah,
no. And I got one more fan question here from man Johnny. He had another one. This one's a funny one. So, I mean, we don't experience this, but I know people who have. So I got some answers for it. Putting deadbeat mothers on child support. Instead of putting deadbeat dads, how about putting deadbeat moms on child support? Now, this is a good one. And for me, I don't have any deadbeat baby moms. Like my two mothers of my children, because I don't like the term baby mom at all. The mother of my children, both mothers of my children are really good moms. So I don't have that situation. But I had some friends who went through this. And yeah, you gotta take women to child support, man. Just like they take you gotta take them when you got custody of your kid. Like, it's no way around that, man. Like, if you're a man and you have custody of your kid, just because you can do it and you can do it alone and you don't need no help and you feel like you can afford things, bro, you still gotta hold her accountable. Like, you still gotta hold her accountable as a mother. So if that means she gotta pay child support, then that's exactly what it is. Like, it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You gotta hold people accountable in their parenting. Y'all both made that kid. People always want to hold a man accountable, but sometimes you got to hold a woman accountable too. Women don't want to be held accountable for anything. And sometimes you have to hold women accountable for the things that they've done that caused the situation that y'all in. When it's not their fault and they're right, then men, you have to own it and be able to accept that. But when you got kids involved and your child is the one that's suffering from it, you definitely have to hold that woman accountable, because you're going to be doing it all by yourself, and you're going to need some help at some points. That's always the case. In fact, that's always the case on the other side too. They need help too. And as men, we should always step up and be there for our children. I'm very big on that. Again, I say this all the time. You can say one thing about me. You can say anything you want about me. I'm a horrible person. I was a horrible husband. Because I've been married before. I was a horrible husband. I was a horrible friend. I was a horrible family member. All those things. But the one thing you can never say to me is that I'm a horrible dad or a horrible father. That I take extremely serious, and I take much pleasure in being.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I try to be a very good husband right now, and I try to be a good friend. I try to be all those things. But the one thing I know I'm good at is being a father. I'm definitely good at that shit. That's the one thing I'm good at.
Right.
I'll let you comment on this. I'm gonna drink my drink.
I was about to say two things. One, I want to say I really don't believe in child support like that. I'm probably one of the very few people in the world that don't. When I hate to put her business out there, but when Twyla got married, her ex was complaining about being on child support. And I used to get tired of having to see my wife have to go down to court and deal with that, the mediation and all that. So I was like, look, man, take him off child support. Okay. Like, we'll be fine. Granted, I know like y'all both made these kids, but look, they're fine. We'll be fine. It was the stress of it all. And I feel like when people are just trying, like some people are legit sometimes are struggling and they can't find a job, this and the third, you go back to court and all this. Like, to me, it's a bit much just for entitlements. Now, the reverse side of all that is like sometimes people just are lazy and don't feel like doing something. And I feel like that's when we need to hold you accountable. Like I'll sit through all the mediations, I'll go through all the court things, but you're going to step up to the plate. Like, I'm hurt right now. And I can't do it, but like, you're not going to just leave, like,
right.
You're not going to walk out with carefree. On the flip side of that, I feel like the reason why we don't see deadbeat moms on child support because it's not a thing. It doesn't exist.
That's a lie. That's a lie. It doesn't.
No. Hold on. Hear me out. I say it doesn't exist because we don't ever talk about it, and we do talk about it. And if we do talk about it, like, man, yeah, she don't do nothing. So what are we doing about it? It's because it's non-existent. You know what I mean? It was like, like you said, I feel like it's like when you hear of a guy getting raped, how often do you hear about that? You don't.
True.
It's like damn near non-existent. It's like the freaking tooth fairy. Like, so that's why I always say with people, like, if you have a situation where the mom's a deadbeat and you out here struggling, I see a lot of people, especially single dads in the army. When they out here struggling, and I know the cost of daycare goes around like $400 or $500 for one kid. So I was like, I had seen somebody go through this whole cycle or whatever, and then he finally was able to get his lawyers and stuff intact and took it to court and got the justice that he deserved. Because, you know, I was like, I kind of try to stay out that side of the business, but like, she was non-existent. I'm like what's going on? But it was a whole backstory. Like, she just didn't want nothing to do with him, and she got the kids. She would move on with her life and forget that. I'm like, what? Okay, so you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I feel like that's the reason why we don't see it. Does it need to happen? Absolutely, because I feel like what do you hear all the time in the news and the deadbeat dad? That's the deadbeat dad. My dad was a sperm donor. This, that, and the third. But like, but yeah, man. Oh shoot. I think my joint about to die.
You good?
I got 10% left.
All right, so we got enough time to close the show out then.
Okay.
So we want to table it there. You know, again, we want to thank everybody for watching. Thank everybody for tuning in. We greatly appreciate all the views, all the likes. Getting to 50 subscribers on YouTube. Thank y'all. That was major for us. We are truly happy to see 50. Now we need another 50. We need to get to 100. So let's see if we can get there soon. Cherish. My quote for this week is cherish what you have and cherish who you love. You never know how long they're going to be here, or you never know how long something's going to last. So cherish every moment of it. That's my quote this week. Right, you got anything?
Oh man, my quote is pretty simple. Get them damn kids out the house. That's mine. Uh, that's pretty simple there. But seriously, like Reggie said, man, we appreciate all the support. Like I said, I was new to the whole streaming, like the podcast part of the video podcast. So we have like what over 1K listeners out there. I feel like that's huge. For all of the listening, or all that listen to it once and enjoy the conversation. The feedback, even though I know especially my Facebook family, I know y'all get tired of me talking and try to pull it out of y'all. I still have people asking me to this day, "Oh, I didn't even know you had a podcast."
Me too.
But all those, keep on reaching out, share us. Like I said, like us on YouTube, we're on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, all of them. We out there. Just look us up, B on the clock. Follow us on Instagram. Follow me on Snapchat. You know what I'm saying? If you just want to reach out for real, Snapchat, shoot. But seriously, thanks for all the support. Trust me, man, we're learning about this process every step of the way, so bear with us. The topics, they might not be the best topics out there, but I'm glad you're listening. It's just two brothers talking about anything and everything. Legit.
Right.
That's literally legit. If y'all in our little, we call it studio sessions or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like before we do the show, we legit are like, what are we going to talk about? So these fan questions are definitely it helps us fill in spot, and it helps us expound on topics that a lot of people don't talk about. So like I said, I appreciate all the support, and pray for those refugees that are out here in Germany, because boy, it's about to get real crowded on this damn base.
Yo, you know what we didn't talk about? Just to think about it, we ain't talking about your girl getting smoked. We ain't talking about your girl Sha'Carri getting smoked.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna say this real quick though. Hey, look, I'm still going to support her. I'm still going to support her.
Oh yeah, definitely support her.
So the crazy part is you can tell she wasn't ready, and that's all I'm gonna say.
She was not ready.
She was not ready because ninth.
Yes. All right, so we will see y'all next week. We thank y'all for watching B&B on the clock. We are about to clock out, but we do ask, like we always ask, for you guys to like, subscribe, comment, share, all the above. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Breaker, and anywhere else you stream podcasts. We are out of here. Love y'all. More than say his line for a change. Wow.
Oh yeah. Peace out.